Hello everybody, this is Chris and we're back with another E39 M5 wagon update. Today we're going to be trying to put this motor into this E39 Touring that we have right here. We've got our engine bay prepped, cleaned, ready to go. The only things left on this motor are getting a few seals on and the headers so that we can turn the engine the right way around and put it inside the engine bay. Here we've got all the parts ready that we're going to be installing before we can get the motor in. So it's going to be easier to install the headers while the motor is out of the car. So we're going to do that first. This is our rear crankshaft seal carrier. Here's the rear crankshaft seal. Here's a gasket for this piece that goes on the block, our motor mounts, nuts, O-rings that go under the motor mount, and then we've got these seals that go on the back of the head. And that's everything that we've got to put on before we can get the motor into the car. Oh, and guess what we found right here? These are the retaining gears for the oil pump. So now we can finally put it back together and put it inside the motor. First things first, let's get these motor mounts on. Now, unfortunately, one thing that I noticed when I got all these parts in, I bought a replacement drain plug, and immediately I noticed that something here was off. So let's take this old plug off and see what the deal is. So when I take the old plug off, what I immediately notice is that the thread pitch is different on the two bolts. So it looks like at some point this was likely stripped out and they used a larger bolt to compensate with more aggressive threads. And now this one still sort of fits in, but yeah, it's probably not going to be ideal. So I think that for now we're going to continue with this aftermarket solution that they have, and if later it doesn't work, then I can always replace the lower oil pan without dropping the subframe. So no big deal. For now, we'll stick to this bolt. So there she is. The motor is fully inside the engine bay now. So with the help of my neighbor, we were able to get the motor in, took off the front bumper like you could see, and the radiator support, and that gave us enough room to bring the motor in straight. If you're going to use this method, I would recommend tilting it downwards in, sort of as if you did have the transmission installed, because the headers fit in better that way if they're angled downwards. But other than that, pretty easy to get the motor in. Plenty of room to work in the engine bay. I can still replace all the seals, lines, and everything that we had plans for, but now I just have more room in the garage. And yes, this is loosely mocked up right here. Now coming up, we've got the paint correction and wide body install on the hatchback right here. And then after that, we're gonna get right back to the wagon by doing the airbag suspension, I think, in the rear. So that'll probably be what we do next, is the suspension in the rear. I'll show you guys how to do custom air setup for an E39 Touring. And that's it. So if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and let me know, give me a comment or like the video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.